Tabernacles. And on the last day of the Feast of Tabernacles is Simchat Torah. Simchat Torah means like the joy of the Torah. So for a whole year, you basically go through the whole of the Old Testament and you read it every day. And so on the day of the war last year, on the 7th of October, it was Simchat Torah. And I'll explain to you guys why all of that is also really meaningful to us and how we try to deal with this holiday that should be an extremely happy holiday and how it became sad and how we're dealing with it now. So here you can see a really interesting article. It says Sisu vezichru, rejoice and remember. It's sort of a play on words because the original one is Sisu vesimchu, which is be happy and joyful. And so here you'll see these 5 individuals and what they went through, experiencing an attack in a synagogue on the 7th, surrounded by terrorists. So here it says, Lirkod im dma'ot ba'inayim, to dance with tears in your eyes. So on that holiday, people go to the synagogue to pray very early, but mind you, by this time, there are already rockets in the air. They're from Sderot, they already know that there are rockets, they understood that there's something abnormal, but because they don't have phones, because they don't use them on the Sabbath, they don't know that there's an infiltration of terrorists, but they suspected that something could be going on. So just literally by chance, the rabbi of this synagogue on the way saw a man that was going on his way, but he had a gun. He was a reservist. So he asked him to come and pray with them in the synagogue. And there just happened to be another soldier there that had a gun. And so they're in the synagogue, and you can see them here with the Torah scroll. The moment that they understood that there is an infiltration, because the terrorists started to shoot at someone who had left the synagogue, they went back in, they tried to lock the door, it wasn't locking, so they hid next to the bathroom and here next to the what we would call the Holy Ark. It's basically where they hold the Torah scrolls. It's a very special day in which you open the Torah scrolls and you basically scroll back the Torah from where you ended. So you read it the whole year and then you scroll it back to the beginning. And actually it says something really cool in the title. It said here that while they were hiding, they were saying Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael is a prayer that a lot of us pray from the Old Testament, but it's also sort of the first prayer that Jews will think about to pray when they're under attack. They'll just say Shema Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, Shema Yisrael. And they were also sort of just confessing things, in a whisper, knowing that the terrorists were surrounding them there. So as they are hiding, these terrorists infiltrated and start to shoot at them. They're throwing grenades at them. And if not for those 2 people within the synagogue that had rifles, they would definitely not be alive. But they didn't only deal with that, internal fight. They also had their families at home. They can see them in their cameras. Terrorists are surrounding their own homes. So they're surrounded there in the synagogue. Their family is not safe. And I don't know what I would do in that situation, but it must have been absolutely terrifying for them. So for them to be in this synagogue a year later, holding the Torah scroll, knowing that God protected them that day, is just absolutely amazing. And it's nothing short than a miracle. I'll show you guys another image of the synagogue and the damage. So here you can actually see these terrorists in the cameras surrounding the synagogue. Also, a wonderful thing about the synagogue was that it actually is a bomb shelter, which is why a lot of those prayer goers were comfortable, quote unquote, going to the prayer there because they knew that they would be safe. Little did they know they would not be safe. Here you can see the bullet holes, in the walls. If not for it being, that sturdy, it could be that they truly wouldn't be with us here today.